Chairs No Waiting, episode number 423, Return to Mayberry Updates. Two Chairs No Waiting is brought to you each week by the fine folks over at weaversdepartmentstore.com. Drop by over at Weavers and check out some of the new stuff that we've gotten in, a few new things. We've got some Lawman accessory pouches, little zippered pouches, pretty cool with a neat Lawman design on it. You'll need to go check it out at weaversdepartmentstore.com. You can also check out the Mayberry tote bag, the Lawman tote bag, as well as we got a new bumper sticker, Nip It in the Bud. Head over to weaversdepartmentstore.com and check it out. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Two Chairs No Waiting. I should have said our executive producer of tonight's episode number 423, is Adam Davis. He's one of our patrons at Patreon. So thank you, Adam, and thank you for being here with us. We're excited over at Weavers. You know, my wife and I run Weavers now and trying to support the Mayberry events, and it's nice to have a few new products. Yay, we got new stuff. So head over to Weavers and check it out. Now, this episode, we're going to be talking about it's the Return to Mayberry update. Now, last week we did a Return to Mayberry, I think is what I called it. I don't remember. Whatever last week's episode was. And as part of that episode, you know, we were discussing the Return to Mayberry episode in our This Week in Mayberry History update. So it was so fitting that throughout this week, I've been looking around on my computer and trying to find some files and looking through. I have files dating back into the 90s on my computer. And so I was looking through them, and there was a folder called Everett. And I was looking at it. I was like, what's Everett? You know, who is this about? Well, it was about Everett Greenbaum. Is what was in the folder. And it was some of the things that you might have seen if you had gone to the Ask the Writer section of imayberry.com. There's this whole section there called Ask the Writer. And it's stuff from Harvey Bullock and Everett Greenbaum. So this is a input to that I never shared with anybody. I had forgotten it. I don't know what happened, but this is something I think that you are going to enjoy as Mayberry fans, because I know I did. I was excited when I ran across this little gem because, ladies and gentlemen, you're about to hear it. I guess nobody's heard this since I got it. I got this letter on March 12th, 1999, and it is from Harvey Bullock, the writer. Now, Harvey and Everett, they were two of the most prolific writers of the Andy Griffith Show, and Harvey was a great friend of the Who's Been Messing Up the Bulletin Board chapter of the Andy Griffith Show Rewind Watchers Club, and he took time out of his, you know, whenever he could, because he was a member of that he would answer questions. And that's where the Ask the Writer section of imayberry.com from, the Ask the Writer, came from him answering questions that people ask on the Who's Been Messing Up the Bulletin Board chapters daily email digest. So this is an answer to a question, and it just happens to be about Return to Mayberry. Whoa. It's almost like I planned these episodes. All right, so here's something I know you're going to enjoy. So I'm going to read this for you. No background music on this one, just me reading because I'm excited. This is from Harvey Bullock. It's just fairly short, but it's still amazing that we have this, and it's never been posted. So here we go. March 12th, 1999. All right, you got that? So this was a few years back. Now, Harvey, I should say, he passed away April 23rd, which was yesterday as I record this, by the way, of 2006. So this is a great remembrance of him as well, because yesterday was when I found it. I thought this is just so many, I don't know if you want to call them coincidences or what, but wow, this is amazing. Harvey Bullock, he was born June the 4th, 1921. He passed away April 23rd, 2006. So this letter that I have was written on March 12th, 1999. He says, Dear Alan, Mike Creech wrote, he's talking about Into the Digest, the Who's Been Messing Up the Bulletin Board Digest. Mike Creech wrote on February 8th, 1999, he wrote about Return to Mayberry. I heard that originally, is what Mike said, I heard that originally there was a different ending to the made-for-TV movie. If this is true, what was different about the original script? Now, that was a question from Mike Creech that he wrote in February the 8th, 1999. And so Harvey, our friend Harvey, is writing back with the answer. Here's the answer to that question. If the ending was different, what was different in the original script? Well, Harvey says the answer is yes. There was a different ending in the original, which was changed in many small ways and in one major way, the final scene. Okay? Scripts are never truly finished. That's what Harvey says. The writers complete a script. The producer suggests changes, which are made. Then the director often adds changes. Even the actors and production people add changes. The script is a living work in being as it progresses toward the final filming. And even after filming, changes still are made in the editing. Andy Griffith was deeply involved in this project. He had turned down previous offers to do a Mayberry movie, but after talking to Don Knotts, Andy decided it was best not to postpone any longer. Andy was extremely concerned that the movie be equal to the cherished series, so he manicured every word and scene which he felt could be improved. The main change was in the ending of Return to Mayberry, wherein Andy rewrote it to be an upbeat finale with a dash featuring Denver Pyle and his rousing country band and all the cast in a rousing, festive carnival, good-feeling atmosphere. That's at the wedding that Barney and Thelma Lou had. The ending Everett Greenbaum and I wrote, and you got to remember that the person who's writing this is Harvey Bullock. He wrote, along with Everett Greenbaum, The Return to Mayberry. The ending Everett Greenbaum and I wrote originally was total nostalgia. It was set in Opie's house, where the whole cast and the church choir had gathered. Andy toasted the bride and groom, Thelma Lou and Barney, and told how nice it was to be back among dear friends. The choir had secretly practiced a musical number, and with Gomer they sang, "My Cup Runneth Over." That was the name of the song. During which the camera slowly panned everyone present. And over each face was superimposed a short film clip of that person doing a well-remembered bit from a TV episode. Wow, that would have been cool. I'd love to see that. As the music ends, a rock comes through the window, and a jubilant Ernest T. with Denver and the band arrive, the boys, I'm assuming he means, and the music and hand clapping commence as the scene fades. There follows a brief epilogue in both scripts with of Andy and Don lowering the flag outside the courthouse. We saw that at the end of the episode or the movie. Harvey says, Andy was totally correct in making whatever changes he deemed best. So yes, there was a different ending. There was also an earlier, totally different, full script that was written. But that's another story. Harvey Bullock. Oh, can you guys get over that? Is that not awesome? I don't know how I've never posted this. This should be online. Anyway, You guys, the first to hear that. You that are listening right now, watching this podcast, watching the video. I don't know that I've ever told anybody about this before. I just think I am ashamed that I've had this for, 17 years? How long have I had this? 17, 18 years nearly? Yeah, 18 years. Good night. What's wrong with me? Anyway, there you go, folks. There's a little bit of Mayberry history, and the thing that just pains me is to know that somewhere there's a totally different full script of a Return to Mayberry movie that we don't have. I want to read that. Where is it? Oh my goodness. Man, I really need to find that. And I don't know if there's even a way to get it. Wow. Would that be great to just read it and imagine in our mind's eye? I mean, can you imagine this scene that they were talking about? The ending that Everett Greenbaum and I wrote was totally nostalgia. It was set in Opie's house where the whole cast and the church choir had gathered. Andy toasted the bride and the groom, Thelma, Lou, and Barney, and told how nice it was to be back among dear friends. The choir had practiced a musical number, and with Gomer, they sang My Cup Runneth Over, during which the camera would pan slowly through everyone in the room. And over each face was superimposed a short film clip of that person doing a well-remembered bit from the Andy Griffith Show episodes. Oh, would that have been so cool to see? Anyway, wow. That is all I have prepared for you for this podcast episode. That is all I have. I know this is short, but we've still got to hear from Randy Turner. We hadn't done that yet. But folks, this was so exciting to me. I'm currently just like you, I guess. I want to see that. I want to see that episode. I want to see that scene. I wish they had filmed it and it was sitting around somewhere in a vault so they could pull it out and just show it to us. Would that not have been fun to see? Just because it's different, just something different. And I would love to see what Harvey talks about here at the end. So yes, there was a different ending to Return to Mayberry. There was also an earlier, totally different full script written, but that's another story. Oh, did I not follow up? What is wrong with me? I could have followed up and asked him, Harvey, could I see that? Do you have it? What is wrong? Oh, all right. Anyway, so I'm disappointed I didn't follow up when I possibly could have, and kind of heartbroken about it, but I'm excited to have found this. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. And folks, it is time now for our good friend, a good friend in Mayberry of every week. He's been here all year with us, and it is always good to hear from him. He digs up all kinds of history like this, where we get to find out a little bit more about the Andy Griffith Show. So folks, let's head over and check this out.
Welcome to This Week in Mayberry History, a report by special correspondent Randy Turner of the Gomer and Cooper Pyle Comic Book Literary Guild of the Mayberry Historical Society.
As we know, this week marked the birthday of the lovely Elinor Donahue. Elinor played Ellie Walker, Andy's first love interest during the first season of The Andy Griffith Show. While she did not appear in every episode, she also was not a simple recurring character. In the opening credits, after Andy Griffith and Ronnie Howard were introduced, her name was given by the announcer as also starring Elinor Donahue and Don Knotts. She was the only person outside of the trio of Andy, Ronnie, and Don to receive such billing until 1965, when Frances Bavier was added after Don Knotts had left the series. Elinor had begun appearing in film roles at the age of 5 in dancing choruses. She also acted as a child in vaudeville and on radio. As a teenager, she was cast in small parts in films, but her break into stardom came when cast at the age of 17 as Betty Anderson, the oldest daughter of the quintessential American family in Father Knows Best. The series underwent an unusual, though not unheard of, path as it began on CBS in the fall of 1954, then moved to NBC for 3 seasons, then returned back to CBS for its final 2 seasons. As the show was on for 6 years, Elinor's character graduated from high school, but attended the local Springfield Junior College, and so remained on the show. So when Elinor was cast on the Andy Griffith Show, she was only 23 years old, while Andy was 34. Unfortunately, for the many Mayberry fans for whom Elinor was their favorite, the hoped-for chemistry between the characters never developed. Andy has said it was because the show writers and producers did not know how to write for her character, a position that Elinor has said she thinks is kind, but not fully accurate, as she was young and feels she didn't give them much to build on. Like all new shows, the Andy Griffith Show was evolving during the first season. During the table reads, Andy would frequently switch lines written in the script for Elinor to say and give them to Don, since they would be funnier. And Elinor, to this day, wholeheartedly agrees with that tactic. She never claimed to be a comedian and said she is not a naturally funny person. In every case where the lines were switched, she now says the lines did indeed work better and were funnier when Don said them. Of course, the age difference had to have also contributed to the lack of chemistry the show's producers were hoping for. Andy has also frequently said that he was uncomfortable playing romantic scenes or showing affection on screen, a fact that I think can be easily seen throughout the series with other potential love interests for Andy Taylor. And so, Elinor asked to be released from her 3-year contract early. She has, of course, had an extremely successful career, co-starring in the series Many Happy Returns, playing the recurring character of the sister of Sally Field's character on The Flying Nun, playing the recurring character Miriam Welby on The Odd Couple, and the mother of Chris Elliott's character on the offbeat series Get a Life. She also continued to work in film, including in Pretty Woman as Bridget, a Beverly Hills clothing store manager. But to many fans, Andy's first love interest will always be their favorite. That's it for this week. As always, thanks for listening, and remember to take Andy's advice and go out there and act like somebody.
All right, so remember, if you don't want to miss any of today in Mayberry history, you can go over to the Gomer and Goober Pile Comic Book Literary Guild on Facebook, and you'll see the post there. If you want to make sure you don't miss any, you can send an email to Turner's Grade, Turners, Turner's Grade @gmail.com, and Randy will make sure you get a daily email telling you about today in Mayberry history. So I want to thank Randy. I want to thank him for these amazing This Week in Mayberry reports. But as I said, make sure you don't miss his Today in Mayberry history, because he has all kinds of information there. Folks, I hope you've enjoyed this. This was a lot of Mayberry history information, including the return to Mayberry information that I found from Harvey. Great stuff. I am still just kicking myself that somehow I didn't follow up and see if I could get a copy or something of the scripts from the earlier attempts to do a Mayberry movie. Wow, would that have been great? Folks, I would love to hear from you. I'd love to hear from you. You can give me a call at 888-684-8415. You can email me at floyd@imayberry.com or drop by twochairsnowaiting.com and leave a message there. And don't forget, if you follow me on Facebook, follow me particularly, or you go to Two Chairs No Waiting on Facebook, which is facebook.com/2chairs, and follow. Sometimes I do live video stuff when we're doing Mayberry events. Did some just this past weekend. So maybe we'll be seeing some of those later. Until next time, folks, I'd love to hear from you. We'll see you then here on Two Chairs. Good night.